Saturday morning, people. We're off to practice again, this time indoors. Remember what I was telling you. The reason you're competing is to improve yourself. If you win, fine, that's great. If you do well, that's better. Just do better than you. If you walk away with a personal best, you were victorious in competition, because that's the goal. Personal improvement, to improve your art. You should be thanking everybody that helps you, everybody that's a part of that process. You thank them for helping you to perfect your art, your skill. I learned that in Taekwondo classes long ago when I was studying Taekwondo a lot. I realized that different practices, people with the right attitude, the older ones, when even you were fighting with them, even if they beat you, they still thank you for helping them to perfect their art. And they meant it when they said it. Kudos to Joe Husarek in Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. You were a really good instructor, and people remember that even to this very day. Anyway, I got to get some gas. I'm not going to go and re-record getting there, maybe a little bit, but let's get out to Kishwaukee and shoot. Okay, cool. I get to film. It's all quiet today because we had 9 inches of snow last night. So I'm gonna go grab a target, hook up. 18 meters. 3.5 fingers. Using the longbow for the reasons that I told you guys yesterday when I started this week video. The recruit is too noisy in an enclosure like this. It's distracting for me. It'll be distracting for everybody else. And I like this one too. If you're going to compete, I kid you not, you better be there early enough that you get 10 rounds in before the competition even begins. 10 rounds of 3, that's 30 arrows. So to get those arms warmed up. So that's what I'm here today to do. I'm trying to make sure that I'm relaxing. My rear elbow is up. I'm getting ready to take a nice easy release. Bottom right in the black. Try to make all of them count. Six o'clock, red. I'll just call them out to you guys. And we're going to be zooming in later in the video and zooming in on my release. That's what I'm here to work on. I got to work on trusting my method. There are times when I cheat. And instead of putting the arrow, the tip of the arrow right on the target like that, I cheat and I put it a little bit low because I've developed a fear and apprehension that the minute I put it on the target, I jerk. The minute I put it on the yellow, I jerk. So I'm trying to cheat by putting it on right underneath it like that. And I got to overcome that habit. One o'clock outside the black. Nine o'clock white. I gotta get warmed up. Don't beat yourself up on round 1. 9 o'clock white. I'm going to pause. I'm just calling out what I see. When I finally get a good one, I'll call you guys over. But now you know, nothing in the yellow. Round 2. I'm going to try a little exercise this time. And the exercise is going to be holding it. I'm not allowed to shoot when it's on the yellow. It has to be on the yellow for a 3 count. And then I can release. So I'm trying to teach myself that it's okay to hold it on the yellow. And again, the tip has to be not below the yellow, not above the yellow, not to the left, not to the right. It has to be on the yellow, like that. I'm shaking. Nice yellow bullseye. Yep. 12 o'clock, top of the yellow. Good exercise. I'm going to keep trying it. Mm, 12 o'clock blue. I'm okay with that. Totally to the right. We're going to watch that twang. I'm going to pull that out and see what I did. I absolutely did not let the string just pull away from my fingers. I pulled my fingers away from the string. Nine o'clock red, red edge of the blue. It's the last one. I'm going to try to drive it right into the center of the yellow. Aim small, miss small. 9 o'clock white. Let's go take a look. We're showing signs of improvement. Oh, didn't quite make the yellow. So that was the bottom of the yellow, 6 o'clock, and a little in the red. But it's coming in. 3 out of 5 are already in the decent points. They're in the blue and in the red. We want the yellow. And if you remember from last week, at this point, I'd shot 10 rounds last weekend and I wasn't even near the yellow. I was all over the place. So I am making some improvement in following that idea of just let the string pull itself out of your fingers. Just let it go and keep it nice and in line. And we've got, if you look here, there's a really nice line from doing that. That was my flinch that I was telling you about, where I pulled the string. This one, same thing, just not paying attention. All right, let's pause, pull them, and start again. We're gonna keep going with that. We're gonna keep going with that exercise. That seems to be working for me. Trying to hold it on the yellow for a 3 count. I can do that with a 45 combo. I'm starting to warm up. Nine o'clock, outside edge of the red. Okay with that. Mm, 5 o'clock black. That's okay. Fell short. That was a mental breakdown, guys. That string crawled out of my fingers and I couldn't pull it back, so I let it go. 5 o'clock outside the black. I hate that. That's a sign of a target panic. When you uncontrollably release. 1, 2. 9 o'clock black, but I was holding it better. The height was good. Last one. 10 o'clock outside the black. But I'm not horrible about it. I'm just going to pause and go get those. Round 4 coming up. Round 3 sucked. 2 over here, 2 down here, and 1 up at 10 o'clock. Aiming for that little cross, that little X in the middle of the yellow. Got it. 12 o'clock, top of the yellow. Sure looked like it. My top of the yellow actually ended up still going down a little bit at the end. I'm seeing the tail like this, but the tip is down, but it's at 6 o'clock in the yellow. I'm okay with that. $10 black. Caught my arm guard. 10 o'clock black, 1 o'clock black. Dang it, my elbow got in the way. And at 2 o'clock black, letting my elbow turn in like this. You guys know what happens. You're turning your elbow in and getting caught right there. I gotta learn to turn it out. Round 4. Turn the elbow up. 3, 4 o'clock blue. That's it. Let's go take a look, because I want to show you guys another reminder on pulling your arrows. The right way and the absolute wrong way to do it. And these targets are actually good practice. So we see almost got the yellow. It actually dropped a little bit more, but I'm still okay. I'm bringing those in. If I'm in the blue for most of my shots, I'm going to be wildly happy in competition. What I want to show you guys is this. When you're pulling arrows out that have been buried in 4 inches, never pull like this. That engages this rotator cuff muscle. That engages this really weak rotator cuff muscle, and you don't want that. Elbow against the target, hand here, using this bicep, you're using the wrist and you're pulling it out like this. Give it a little pull, now it's loose. Now this can come out with 2 fingers. Same thing, this one, grab it, you're lifting out like this. This is the action. Strong wrist, has a lot of pull right there. In fact, one technique that I'll share with you guys is this. I grab this thing with my hand down here, and when I squeeze, when you squeeze, it makes your fist swell up right over here. And that swelling pulls the arrow out. So I'm pulling out like that. This action is happening, squeezing out. It's super easy. There's nothing happening right here. This is all happening, no muscle on this shoulder. It's this hand that's actually doing the pulling. This hand that's doing the pulling, and it's all down here. None of these muscles are being engaged to pull these arrows out. Because if you pull that one, guys, trying to pull an arrow out of a target, if you pull this, you're done. You're done for the season, maybe. You don't want that to happen. So learn to pull right. Learn to pull correctly. Learn to pull healthy, safely. Freckles, come on. Let's all get set up for round 5. Things are coming along. There. Now I can start demanding a little more. Fifth round, my arms are feeling a little warm, my back is feeling a little warm. Now it's all about slowing things down. I live such a fast-paced life as a developer. It's always crazy on my projects. Rush, 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 rush. Try to slow down for a really good shot. bullseye, yellow. Felt good about that too. I'm noticing though, you're seeing me, I'm jerking, control, release. Oh God, that's tedious, let me tell you. Having to pay that price on every shot of that flinch, 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 control the flinch, release. 8 o'clock black. Black. Sometimes it just feels right. Just I can't always make it right. Three good ones right in line across the yellow like this. Let's go take a look. That felt encouraging. I've got snow blowing to do, so I'm only going to be here for about 2 more rounds. But here's what we got. 2 very nice bullseyes and 1 in the red. Hallelujah. And nothing horrible. There's nothing spraying over on this side. So it's 5 of them in. I even touched the black here, so technically 5 of them all points. 2 of them really good points. That feels really good. And what was I doing? Letting the string come out and telling myself it's okay. I need to hold it on the yellow for 3 seconds. Not as soon as it's on the yellow, release. It's not a deer. It's not going to run. I get to hold it. I get the luxury of that and let the string pull it out of your fingers. Let's pause, pull those arrows. Go shoot 1 more round. The tricky part for me, if it's not obvious, is consistency. Can I do that 1 more time? Not just once every 5 rounds. All right, so there. Last round. Go for the yellow. Damn close. Could be 5 o'clock red. But I'm okay with red. I want yellow. 5 o'clock black. I held on so long I started to shake. I think I was turning forward a little bit. So we're going to take a step back. $11 o'clock red. Nah, 10 o'clock blue. Still, it's not black. You want 1 or 2 yellows. Got 1. Let's go take a peek. I might try for 1 more round. Everybody likes to end on a really good note. It helps remind yourself how you did. But we had 1 stray on the bottom. Otherwise, red, red, red. And that one just caught the blue. So 3 reds, a blue, and a 0. But still, the consistency in the reds, being able to slowly get in from where I was last weekend, that's encouraging. That's what can potentially make me competitive, so I don't get blown out next weekend. Okay, here we go. Freckles. Happy dog. I don't know, she thinks the camera is a gun or something. Always. Last round. There we go. I say last round a lot, don't I? Like I like archery, guys. Red. Perfectly 12 o'clock. I don't know why that one shot high. Bullseye. They say Olympic archers shoot between 300 and 500 arrows a day. That's the kind of conditioning that they have. Red. Let's go take a look at that. Come on. I can't believe nobody's here. Sunday morning, a little bit of snow on the ground, big deal. Maybe they're all out plowing. But we ended up with yellow, red, and 2 blacks. I swear I don't need those blacks. Always take these out first, all the outside ones. Don't dwell on them, don't stare at them. Stare at what you did right. The yellows and the height coming in very nicely. Even this one, if I'd have brought it over there. Okay. We're about as ready as we can be for next Sunday. I'm gonna have to show up here at 6 o'clock to get in and warm up, and then give yourself a chance to rest, but your muscles are warmed up. That felt pretty good today. We learned drawing back straight, elbow up. This is Chang Hye Jin style, and let the bowstring decide how to pull itself out of your fingers, guaranteeing you get a straight release. The other exercise that we tried was put the tip of the arrow right on the target for a 3 count, and then you have permission to release 3 count. That seemed to be a very effective technique. I'll be trying that in competition next Sunday. This is Mark Vogt with VOGTLAND Outdoors. Please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hope you guys are enjoying this. We'll see you out there. Bye. But I gotta share a story with you. There were 2 other guys that were shooting traditional on the opposite side. I'm way over on the left side of all of the lanes. I'm in lane 1. They're over in lane 9 shooting. And their instinctive shooting, doing just okay, like shooting in an area about the size, if they're lucky, the size of an extra large pizza, like that. But they were watching me shooting, and even on a bad round, and I had a couple strays where I just let loose and lost it. I was staying inside. I was getting bullseyes about 1/3 of the time in the yellow. I was very pleased with that. But I was mostly maintaining. I was staying in the blue. I was staying inside the blue with 1 or 2 strays that are in the black. So 6 arrows, 2 in the black. The rest are in yellow and red. I'm doing very well when I got to take my mask off, and they started watching, and I noticed that as I started shooting, whenever I was done, I shoot kind of fast. There's just no need to hang on there when you already got a bead on the bullseye. You just let go. But I noticed as I was stepping back and those guys were shooting slower, suddenly they're shooting way lower. They're shooting like 2 feet low, 2 feet low, 2 feet low, out of nowhere. And they were doing much better than that to start. Then I watched and I saw one guy drawing back. I won't name him. I saw him and I suddenly noticed he started string walking for the very first time. He liked what I was doing. These guys are instinctive shooting. That means Mediterranean grip. And then Mediterranean grip, and you have to guess at some kind of a gap. So you really don't know how to judge what the angle of the arrow should be. It all is based literally on, they call it instinct, that's bullshit. It's intuition. You can develop intuition. You're born with instincts. So it's wrong to call it instinctive shooting. It's just wrong. Anyway, they were intuitive shooting and doing better and then suddenly doing worse. But it's because suddenly they were trying to mimic my string walking. And what I noticed was, and you guys can probably guess why they were shooting low. Their gap was correct. They were shooting a 3-finger gap on around a 40-pound bow. That's right. That's what you would shoot to get to 20 meters, and we were shooting 20 meters today. But they were anchoring under their they were anchoring at their cheek. And what happens is you've lifted the back of the arrow up when you do that. It's got to be anchoring underneath your chin, and that's going to push the back of the arrow down. The tip of the arrow goes up, and suddenly he would recover those 2 feet. Anyway, it was kind of cool. It's cool when people start copying you. When there wasn't a yellow between the two of them for 2 hours. They were all spread out over, like I said, a large pizza size. Not bad. I love their bows. Super quiet bows. But then suddenly this drop out of nowhere, but their left-right was suddenly becoming very accurate. I noticed that. That suddenly tightened up. They just couldn't get the height right because of the anchoring thing. It was cool being, having people mimic you just by watching. I wasn't out there trying to sell the method. I never am trying to sell the method. Never. That's what the videos are for. So if you guys that are watching this video know who I'm talking about, the one thing that you guys were not copying, were not trying, was you got to anchor under your chin, guys. And that gives you the ability to look down the left edge of the bowstring itself and make a peep sight out of it. And then you get to use the tip of your arrow as your front sight. You put that right on the dead center of your bullseye, that tip of that arrow, right on the dead center, and let fly with your string walking. You're going to see why I was shooting better. You saw I still have my problems. I'm still struggling with target panic. That's why I'm here today. I was jerking once in a while, and you saw a stray, 1 out of 6. Ha! It was in a different lane once in a while. That's how bad it is. But when I got it right, then it's impressive. Everything's all in the red and the yellow. 6 for 6. And that's what, if you guys want to shoot like that, anchor under your chin. Look down the left edge of the string. Put the tip of the arrow on the dead center of the yellow. Small motion release. Small. Let it come out of your hand. Let the bowstring pull out. You're going to be very pleased. And your bows, those guys that I'm talking to right now that were there, you two guys, you had gorgeous bows. They shot so quiet, so smooth, that if you tried that method with them, holy shit, would that be cool to see. Anyway, that's it for Mark Vogt for this week's practice. Next week is the tournament, and I'm actually going to switch bows. I'm switching away from my recurve into my new longbow with the DAS 45-pound longbow limbs and the OMP Night Ridge riser. It's just quieter. And when you're inside an enclosed place like that, you don't want to be the guy with the twang, twang. You don't want to be that guy. You just don't. You want to be the guy. You want to be the guy that's just going doing, doing like everybody else's bow. And that's what those other two guys had. Their bows were so nice looking and so quiet, so well behaved. All right, that's Mark Vogt this week. Please subscribe to my channel. Hope you guys like listening to me get ready for competition. I'm feeling pretty good. I think if I get really, really nervous in competition, it's going to be like when I'm hunting, and it's going to make me better, not worse. So I'm looking forward to next Sunday. That's it. See ya. Cut.